Well, hello there. I am Kathy Crow. This is the Crow Cottage. Beautiful here. I feel very privileged to be here, but on the other hand, today is one of those days. I don't know how it's going to go because I've been gone on vacation for 2 weeks and I feel really out of the loop. And I'm trying to find my video on the thing, and actually it came up and the sound was muted already. It's never done that. That's like perfect. Thank you, Facebook. You solved like a major issue with me. All right, I'm just peeking to make sure that I have the camera on right. I think I do. I just feel like everything's off today. So this is Crane of Fortune. This is what I'm going to use today, and I'm going to use a variety of paper, mainly from, this is our, we're going to use a bunch of this. This is from the Simply Elegant Designer Series paper. We're going to use a bunch of this. It's really nice. So hi Donna, it's nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. It'll be interesting to see how many find me today because I've been gone so much. I should be able to be more regular now. We're back for quite some time. It's winter. I don't like to go anywhere in the winter. And Springfield has been really beautiful. I mean, we were gone during one really cold snap with some ice. It was snowy and icy the day we left. So I'm glad we missed some of their worst weather, but it has been beautiful since we've been back. It's sunny, either in the mid-40s or mid-50s in the day, and so it's been really nice to be back because we went to California, and California has its own little challenges, doesn't it? So I'll be telling you all about our trip because, of course, there was loads and loads of stuff. We had a great time. So I'm gonna put the camera down, and you're gonna see my computer to some degree because I need to keep it plugged in, and I really didn't have time to adjust everything here. So I am gonna try to move my computer over here so that I can see our comments as they come up, hopefully, and then try to adjust my board with our paper pumpkin and get all these cords out of the way. I've got cords all over the place here. Let me try to do that. It's sort of like there. That hopefully will help. I've got my cutting board over here too, and I don't want to cut one of my cords with the cutting board when I'm moving it around. That would be really bad. All right, so let me move this over here, and that's looking better. Get some light going. I am still not sure about my light half the time, so we'll see how this works. If it's too bright, I will adjust it. All right, so how are you doing, Donna? What's it like in the Tri-Cities? I bet it is not bad at all. I tracked the weather here at Springfield for almost a year before we decided to really move here, and that doesn't really work. I just kind of tipped it so it's funky, but I'm going to just move my board over rather than do that because I don't want you looking at it at an angle. That's really not helpful. And it's very similar. So actually it was interesting when we got here to see if it really was what I thought it was, and it has been. All right, so that everybody knows who I am kind of late doing this, but we will put me on here. So if anybody watches this video, I do really appreciate it if you like and share it. My handwritings could be better. I need to get back into the habit of writing like a kindergarten teacher. I used to have much better printing than that. And I'm not going to bother putting any host code or anything on there. We'll just leave it at that. So now you know who I am. All right, so Crane of Fortune. I have been really happy to get into this. I haven't used it very much. I haven't used the dies very much, except for I love this ginkgo leaf. So cute. And all the other things are easily stamped out. This is one that I am going to really enjoy. I can tell it's a distinctive stamp set by the way it looks, which is good, but you tend to need to either color your stamp or you're going to use one color. So sometimes that can be a little problematic. So we'll talk about that as we go. But this, I've kind of done some card bases because I want to do a few of these with this. And so I already did some card bases. So I took gold foil and cut that. Let's measure it because I did this before I left town 2 weeks ago, so I have no idea what it is. If it looks pretty standard. 5.5 by 4 1/4. That one is standard. This one I haven't quite assembled yet, and it's a little bit different. That one's 4.5 by 6.5, and then this would be, you know, just a 1/4 inch smaller, and then I'll talk about those as we go. This one is not your Slimline Designs card. It's a little bigger, a little longer. It still is going to fit into my A6 envelope, I believe, barely. Maybe an A7, maybe an A7. This one is 7 1/4 by 3 3/4. That's what the gold foil is. So these DSPs, not this one, but this one, and this, oh, let me tell you, this and this are the, do you remember the galvanized silver, what was it called? Silver galvanized. Anyway, it's not silver foil, although silver foil would actually give you a little nicer effect with this card. But I bought a bunch of this because I wanted to do a lot of those chicken wires out of it. And I ended up buying too much, of course. So I'm trying to use it up. So I am using this. This is not available anymore, but I am using it. Your silver foil is, but the galvanized isn't. But I do think silver foil would actually look a little bit better. So anyhow, we're going to just assemble these and get going on everything. So when we went to California, we really did have a wonderful time, although, oh, wait, I forgot one paper it's tucked under here that I forgot to mention. This and this one, before I get going on my trip details, which you might be bored with, hopefully you won't. This is from, if you're bored with it, you can always just turn the sound down, right? Of course, no one ever does that. Of course not. No, no, no. This is the Altogether Designer Series paper that is available to everybody today, because it's today, tomorrow, because this is the last day of January today. I didn't even realize it. Tomorrow is February. I believe this comes available, it might actually be February 4. Donna, do you know? February 4 might be the date that this paper, and it is going to be available with a cute hand stamp set, and I did that I think last week or the week before. So I think I have used it already because I wanted to show you the blending pens that are the new ones that come with this suite. So I'm just using one of the sheets from that DSP. That's what this is from. And I got out a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 and scored it at 4 1/4 So Saffron cardstock. So let's just, let's not stick that on yet because I want to see if I want ribbon on that. So we'll put that one aside. These I've already assembled, but they're not on card stock, you know, a card base yet, so I could still put ribbon on it. And I assembled these ahead of time before we left just because I had some scraps of this DSP. I'd done some projects. And these pieces right here are my scraps, and I wanted to get them used up. I don't like leaving a lot of little tiny pieces laying around because when it's cardstock, it's fine. I put it in a little file under the name of its color, and then I can go back and use those scraps as things, you know, as I'm making cards. But with DSP, I found that I don't do it. I put my little scraps of DSP in my file in the little clear sleeve marked DSP, and then I never go in and get it. And then it retires, and I do use my retired stuff eventually, but sometimes it gets to be pretty old. Now, I don't mind that because I actually really like some of the old DSPs, don't you? They're really pretty, and sometimes, you know, since many of our colors coordinate for a long time, I'm trying to adjust my light so it's like not quite so blaring, but still bright. Okay, hopefully that's better. So let's see what this is. So my old DSPs, I'm not keeping, like scraps like this, if I'm not going to use it right away, I am just going to toss it. So instead of tossing it, because I hate to waste things, this is 4 1/8 by 1 7/8, and this is going right on top of that. So it is 4 and really a 16th under there, 3 and a 15th, 16th actually, because I just trimmed it to make it the right size. This is 1 and 3/4. So at least I believe it is. I just wanted it to fit so that I had a slight border, and I didn't even measure it. Oh, actually, I want this side on here, not that side, this side. I'm glad I didn't get any actual glue on there. Okay, pay attention, Kathy. When Jeff and I left for our trip, it was really icy, and our flight wasn't supposed to go out until, I think, 3 or 4 in the afternoon, which was really nice for us, having plenty of time to get ready. We were a little sorry we were going to miss a whole day, you know, with our kids. Our daughter and her husband and their baby live down there. But it was nice having plenty of time to get ready and all. But the weather was really iffy, and there was a winter weather advisory, and we've never experienced one here in Springfield before. And I had no idea. I'm a real scaredy cat on the roads. Jeff drives because I'm a terrible driver. So he always says, "Do you want to drive?" if I complain. It's like, no, I'm worse than you. I think you're terrible right now, but I'm worse. So obviously I am not going to drive. But he's very good-natured about it. So, and in fact, he's so good-natured about it that I said, I'm really scared that we're going to not get to the plane in time because the roads are going to be so bad we're going to slide off it, because it was supposed to get worse and worse as the day went on, right? So he agreed to go to the airport early with me. Oh my goodness, we got there quite early because I wanted to. I was scared about that. We were there. We ended up waiting at the airport. I'm not going to kid you. I think we got there about 10:30. Maybe 11. Maybe it was noon. I don't think so. I think we got there more close to 11 and waited, of course, a very long time, like a dope. And Jeff was really nice about it. He's a great guy. I can't believe he was that nice. I wouldn't have been very nice if I had been him, but he's a better person than I am, so that's the way that goes. I'm very blessed. So anyhow, we sat down there at the airport a very, very long time. And it's always entertaining at the airport, but not quite as entertaining as that, waiting that long. Okay, so I'm going to put this like this, and I kind of wanted it behind, but now I'm thinking, no, it's too wide. If I do that, I won't even see it. And I could go like this, but my other one is going to be like this. So I guess it can go that way. Maybe. I think I might want it on top. So before I put on the dimensionals, I just wanted to see how my ribbon was going to go. So that's why I'm playing around with it. When we flew in, it was beautiful, of course, and we had a really nice flight. And Jeff was so lucky, probably for persevering with me at the airport nicely. He didn't have to have anyone sitting by him. So he was in the middle seat, which is kind of nice because you have the air coming down right on your nose because, of course, you're wearing that stupid mask. So I was very happy. They actually let me bring in, this is a mask I got here at Springfield from a doctor's office because we're not masked up here. We don't have to wear masks. It's wonderful. It's why we moved here, because this is a free place. So I loved it, and I saved it because it's very thin. I can actually breathe through it. So it's been used so much, you know, at the airport that I've lost all of my elastic, but they let me on with it, and they let me keep it on. So I used this mask both coming and going, and it was really, really nice to be able to breathe. So Jeff sat in the middle, and I sat in the window, and that was nice. But then on the way back, of course, to be nice to him, there was a lady who was a bit large sitting in the other seat on the aisle, and so I sat next to her, and she would have been fine. I was crowded in my seat because of her, but you know, the flight was going to be a pretty quick one, thankfully, because we've done that trip before where we had a layover and everything. It was 5 hours. This one was just 3.5 hours. They were very speedy. So it worked out great. And so it wasn't that long, not that big a deal. The problem was I was really tired from our trip because we had so much fun. And I wanted to sleep and catch up on some sleep. Every time I got to sleep, she cackled like super loud. Jeff said I was trying to sleep, so I didn't even see. But he said, yeah, all the other passengers kept turning in their seats and looking at her because she was so ridiculously loud with her cackling at the movie she was watching on her iPad. I was just grateful it was a clean movie. When I saw her putting something on, I just thought, oh my goodness, she's older, so probably it'll be fine. And it was, thankfully, because that was really my only concern, that it would be something that would be offensive. And I would have to say, look, you got to hide that or stop watching it, because I am offended highly by, I didn't have to do that, so that was good. So the cackling might have been uncut. I woke with a start a few times, just of course, as I'm getting to sleep. Really loud. So lesson learned, please do not cackle loudly on the airplane when you are watching your movie. All right, so we've got that one done. And this one, of course, you see, I've already done it. These are my little scraps, as you can see. I've got little scraps. This one's underneath the silver galvanized cardstock. These are on, because I just had a little scrap and I wanted it to be underneath there. I didn't have enough to make a mat of it. So I just put these strips underneath, laid this on top, and then did these strips. And this is, I think I measured it all right already. It's just your standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then this is just a little strip so this is what you can do with your scraps. Just stick it on your cards. And you might come up with a design that you think is really cool, and other people might think it's really cool too. Now this one, just laid that flat on there because, of course, it's silver and gold, and so it's beautiful. But I really want to do something a little more. And because this has these pointed leaves, that's why I got this out. I thought, oh, I'll trim this for this card, and then I'll use my extra little piece to go right here, okay? And I could, get gold and stuff to do, all sorts of things, but we're not going to. We're going to just glue that right on there. Going to be very easy. So it was an easy flight in, not hard to get our rental car, but not easy either. It was a little bit of a chore to get our rentals. Usually it's much easier than that. I happened to hear as we were in the shuttle bus, I heard the attendant wrong and got us out at a stop that was thankfully on the same lot. It just was the fast lane, and I thought we had gotten the email, that gave us the fast lane. Well, I hadn't, of course, so anyway, I had to. Now, I do really want some So Saffron Baker's twine, and I don't think I have any. I do have gold, I have some yellows, and I have some So Saffron checked, but that is not going to work with this. So I am going to peek over at my, I think I see some over here. So there is some Baker's twine. I know we have crushed curry, and we have, what else was it? Crushed curry and bumblebee twine. But I think this was on the clearance rack a while ago. Did I write it on there? I didn't. This is sparkly, and it does match. And I really like Baker's twine because I like to have a variety of tie things on one card. I'm kind of running low on this. They need to do some more So Saffron, right? Okay, so we're going to double this up. If I can figure out how to do that. Oops, without knotting it. I'm going to double that up. It's nice and thin and light, and if it wasn't wrapped with gold, I could even untangle it and have more, use the same, pieces, but just have more stripe or strands. When you take it apart, it makes it much softer. It's going to go down on your card a lot nicer. So That way I get a few wraps around and I can do a nice little bow here with this. And this is just, this designer series paper is a very lightweight cardstock, so you can't, you know, bend it too much or it's not going to really work. It won't look good. All right, there we go. So we've got our ties. We'll cut that so I can see that that's an end. Then I know which one to pull to tighten it up a bit. Just a bit. So the airport, in the LAX airport is where we had to fly into. And it's gotten a new gate, actually a whole new terminal for Allegiant flights. And it was nice. It was just very confusing to us because it's new to us. But they had people guiding us really well, much better than they usually do in an airport. They had them all along the route to show us where to go so we could get on the shuttle. So that was not a problem at all. And it was much less confusing and problematic than the last time we went to. Maybe I want to do dimensionals on this just to make sure that that's not going to have a problem staying down on the card with all these little twine thingies. Oh, I got the whole bunch there. I don't really think I wanted to do that, but I did. All right, let me grab out a new pack. The weather was really good. Our Airbnb lady said that we picked the perfect time to come because the week before it had been rainy and cloudy every day. Probably the same temperature, but that was nice. The Airbnb we stayed at was really nice. It was funky. It was a kind of, it wasn't in the neighborhood we would have picked, but we had our whole family there with us. So we had, you know, 4 adults and we had two small kids. So we needed 2 bathrooms for sure and plenty of room. And in California, property, as you know, is really expensive. So to get, and also my daughter, where she lives, their neighborhood isn't great. It's not the, if they could afford a nicer neighborhood, they would definitely be living there. It's just, you know, it's hard. So it's an okay neighborhood. It's just not great. And in fact, in some ways, it's not good at all. So Jeff and I were getting there so late that when we pulled up, it was dark, first of all, and I just was like saying to myself, oh no, what have I got myself into? Because this looks like a bad neighborhood. And I'm not sure how that, and then when we went in the house, it was terribly cold because we didn't know, but someone, whether it was the previous people or the owners, I suspect the owners did not know that the people that were in it before us had left, or the cleaners had left all, like 5 windows open. And, you know, it's been getting down to 40, you know, degrees there at night. So it was cold. So it was cold and kind of scary and dark. And the house when we went in, just smelled a lot of natural gas, and I am so sensitive to smells. It was like, oh my goodness, this is horrible. I don't think I can do this for 2 weeks, but then I realized I don't have a choice. We've already paid for it. So we are going to be there. And then the morning, it was fine. The house itself was actually really cute. The neighborhood was fine. It's just weird at night. Your mind plays tricks on you. But Jeff said he thought the same thing, so it wasn't just me this time like it usually is. We laughed about it because that night we were thinking, oh boy, you know, this is going to be an adventure for sure. But it really was nice. It was quiet. I don't know that it was the safest neighborhood, but it still wasn't bad. And the people around it, it's in Gardena. And Gardena, our daughter told us, was mainly filled with people of Asian descent and Hawaiian descent. So it's called Gardena because they have so many gardens. And so we had a great time. There's a botanical garden near there that was beautiful and very unknown. Nobody there hardly. It was wonderful. And the Airbnb lady is the one who told me about told us about that. We didn't know. My daughter lives right there, and she didn't know about it. And I didn't realize until after we'd paid and left that our Friends of the Garden card here in Springfield would have gotten us in for free, I think, in that garden. I didn't have mine. Jeff had his, but I didn't have mine because I'd left all my stuff. All right, so this is the crane. Let's see how it stamps up. I've got very vanilla. I'm just curious to see how it's going to stamp up. I haven't really done much with it. So we're going to use, I think I'll just use crumb cake first of all. And I know I've stamped a few cards with it, but it was a long time ago. I do not really remember how it looked. And so I want to see how it goes. So let's take this little piece out on the edge here. Well, I can't even see it. So we know we need something darker. So I guess I can go with black. I just, I wanted to make sure, I can see I need to ink my crumb cake. I'll have to find my ink pad to ink that up for sure. You know, I think we'll go with our So Saffron, or Daffodil Delight, if I can find it, for this card. Now my So Saffron that I just pulled out, I can see is one of our old stamp. I don't use this ink pad a lot. I actually prefer Daffodil Delight and Pineapple Punch. So I hope it's not dried out. We'll see. I'm going to turn it over. Let's do this. Maybe before I stamp it right on the card. Let's test it out and see. Maybe. Okay, let's do this. I want to make sure I get it inked up really good. Here in the center where I'm having a hard time getting a good impression. And it's just because my ink pad's very dry. You can see that it's dry. You can see it's kind of, I need to get some ink on this pad. So, can't push too hard or you'll get the edges of your stamp on there. That's actually pretty good. I'm not sad by that. That's got nice strong legs. It's a little weak here, but I think we're going to live with that. The black images that I do later are going to show you this bird a bit more. And I'm going to cut this out because it does have a die. For now, I'm going to just go like this and set it aside because this one is going with this card. Okay. All right, we're going to do, I think I'm going to do just one more of the birds because this has two other really beautiful ones. It has that flower. I love that. I think, are those dahlias? No, there's something else. What are those flowers, ladies? And then I want to use this ginkgo also on one of these cards. So we'll just do one in black so we can get a really good impression of what that looks like. That ginkgo is. The house had a very fun, they still had the original, I'm pretty sure, gas ovens, double ovens. It was really, they'd fancied it up in a lot of really nice ways. It was old. And so after I called the Airbnb, she sent her husband over and he solved our natural gas problem. I could still smell it some, but it was minimal and it was fine. We had a very good stay. It was not the most comfortable Airbnb we've been in, but it was very comfortable enough. And you know, we had two little kids with us who did a great job being there, but you know, they kept us hopping. So if we were tired, it was probably more from them jumping around. Isn't that cute? I really like this bird stamp. It's so pretty. I think if I were going to do this again with this black, I think what I would do is stamp it with black. I guess I could do it. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Let's do another one so I can use this if it's a total flop. I think what I want to do is I'm first of all going to stamp it with black. Now what I want to do is some embossing on it, but I still want to have that nice black edge. Okay, so we've got our nice, I love how it's a nice crisp edge along those wings there. Can you see that? Very nice. My cord's kind of dangling here again. Try to get that out of the way. All right, now I'm gonna need to use this with my embossing pad. This might be a little tricky. Now, let me see, where are my... This is what happens when you just are going on the fly. I didn't have time to mess around with a lot of stuff today, so I'm just going on the fly. We've got, this is glitter, so that is not at all what I'm looking for. I don't want glitter. I actually need my embossing. Ah, here we go. Here it is. Good. Gold powder. Gold powder. That's perfect. You could use silver, I suppose, with this. I just think that I need a little touch of gold still. And then I need my Versamark for the embossing part. And we need a piece of paper that I can scooch my powder onto. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. I don't want a ton of gold embossing on it. I just want it around maybe the edges here where it's just, there's not a ton of color there. So I'm just gonna do flecks of it and then on the edges of those feathers. Okay, so there and there. Maybe his leg a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna see how this turns out. Again, if I don't like it, it's not gonna be a big loss. So we'll stamp that on there. It's not gonna be perfect because if I wanted it perfect, I'd use my Stamparatus, but I'm not expecting perfection. Oh, I forgot my embossing buddy. Oh well, too late. Okay. Since I only want a little bit, I'm not really concerned about the embossing buddy because I'm not going to want quite as much of this gold anyway. I've got some on his neck and all. I don't want all that. So once you've got it stamped, you don't have to do anything with it right away. It's not going to hurt to sit there. You do have to move a little quick when you get your Versamark on your stamp pad. You want to get that stamped, and then you want to get your powder on it before it has a chance to dry at all. But once that powder is on there, you can just dilly-dally along. You do not have to move fast at all. I'm just going to shake that out to get whatever powder is on there off. Put my Versamark away. All right, let's get this piece of paper back out underneath so that I can brush some of that gold off. And let me grab a little paintbrush, just a very little one, a very fine tip. And we're going to get some of this gold that I don't want on him off because it went off of the image some. And I don't want a lot here, just a little bit on the edges. I really don't want much on that neck. A little is fine, but not much. Okay. So we'll see how this turns out. I'm hitting it pretty hard because I can see I've got plenty. I don't really need a lot of that gold. Now, if I had used my embossing buddy, I wouldn't be needing to do this, but I didn't. So there are strays. Now, I am going to cut it out, so I don't really need, if you weren't going to cut it out, you'd want to get rid of all the little speckles. That's one of my big complaints about embossing. I don't emboss all that often because I don't want any speckles at all. And it's sometimes difficult to achieve that. If you use the embossing buddy, it works. But if you didn't, like I just didn't, you're out of luck. Okay, so here comes the little heat gun. And we'll see how this turns out. I'm kind of having fun just playing along here with you today. me just playing with this stamp set. It's kind of fun. We've got some new kits. I just saw a new kit is coming that's going to be a birthday one that's really fun. So if anybody who lives nearby wants to come over and we'll do kits together, we just need 3 of us, 3 at least, to have fun. So if you're interested, let me know. We'll see if we can collect a couple of other people to do it with us. And that would be fun. Isn't it pretty? I kind of like it. So we're going to cut that out with a die in a moment. And that one is going to go on this one. Okay. All right. So we are done with the crane. I want to see how the flower stamps. Are you curious? That's sticking really good to that block. I'm very curious to see how the flower stamps. It looks like it's going to be, I know I thought I did it, but I just don't really remember now if I did or not. Okay, so we have, let's see, I've got 2 cards here. This one. I need this one to be done with a flower. We could just use the, let's not. Let's do the flower with this one. I don't know. I'm perplexed about it. Let's see. I want a good color. What are we going to use? What are we going to use? How about our polished pink? Let's see how it turns out. Polished pink. It's going to be bright for sure. Very bright. Ooh, oh man, look at that. Are you stunned? It's so pretty. I gotta do one more color. I love that. I knew I was really gonna like this color. I mean this flower. It's so nice. Let's do Mary Merlot. This is more of a wintry color, I think, but I really want to see how it turns out with this flower. Now you can do different things, you know, to get other effects and not just have the one color, but oh man, that is stunning. Let's see what it would look like as a 2nd generation one. That's nice too. Very nice. All right, I'm liking that one a lot. I think I might use that one. Isn't that nice? And I like the stamp sentiments. This one says, wishing a lifetime of happiness and a world full of love, may luck and good fortune, or much luck and good fortune, and sending 1,000 well wishes on your special day. Now there's a really nice shadow that would be good for either the flower or this, but you probably wouldn't want to use it with the flower. It's, you know, not going to be casting shadows on the ground like that. It's really for the crane of fortune, but sometimes it's nice to put those shadows under a flower. You know, you can do it. It's not like there are rules to these things. You can sometimes break the rule. It's fine. Let's get white out for these leaves because I want to see how these leaves are going to go. Grab a piece of our white cardstock. See our friend out there walking her dog, so that's nice. When we went to the beach, it was a little cool. Our kids were a little cool, but it's new for them, so they had a really good time. That was fun. Our granddaughter, you know, doesn't go to the beach all that much because Dad doesn't like the beach, and our daughter's not terribly thrilled with it either, which is so funny because my husband Jeff grew up in Orange County, so he loves the beach. It's like a big thrill to him, but we went down there and had a good time. We weren't there very long. It was kind of cold, but we went to, I think, was it Redondo Beach? I think at the end of the pier they have a really nice aquarium display. I'm going to stamp off there because I want I want to get another one there. Okay. And that was fun. The kids loved that, and it's, you know, just by donation, so that was good. Our daughter, since she lives there, she has scouted out all of the bargains, and our youngest, you know, and, well, actually all the grandkids. There's only one that's really barely old enough to go to Disneyland, so Disneyland was not on the agenda for any of us. I know my daughter was probably really grateful for that. I mean, she likes it, but taking an infant to Disneyland's not fun. Oops, anything in the way there? Yes. Okay, very good. So I've got my little dragonflies just with crumb cake because I want them to just be nice and, you know, light. And now let's use this sending 1,000 well wishes on your special day. We're going to put that one. No, that's not. I think I'm going to actually use much luck and good fortune instead, because I think actually that's the sentiment I am going to need more. So let's do this in gold. I think gold would be really nice. And this time I'm going to remember to use that embossing buddy. Get you out, little buddy. You remember Skipper on Gilligan's Island always called him Little Buddy? That's what I always think of with this, Little Buddy. Okay, so make good luck and fortune. We're gonna decide which card I'm sticking this on. I think I'm sticking it on this one. And this is a basic gray. I think we'll just go with silver. So before I sprinkle it, let's grab that silver out. Here's our silver. And I could use any ink, but really you want to I stick with the Versamarks because it's nice and sticky. There's other kinds of pads that are sticky too, but I've not liked them as well. I do really prefer this Versamark. That is not just a marketing ploy. I do really prefer it. All right, so we'll stick the silver on it. We'll get that little piece of cardstock back over here in a moment. Let me put the lid on that. Trying to keep things put away because otherwise I can't find anything when I go to find, you know, look at it. Can't find anything. All right, so we'll put this away. And our Airbnb also had a lot of Disney, you know, just they had a little Disney motif going. It was cute, really well done, and a lot of antique-y furniture. So the stove, and it had a really nice skylight in the fridge. It had a really nice patio, brick patio all in the back, and an orange tree that had delicious looking oranges. And she said, oh yeah, you can eat all you want. Sweet and seedless. And they weren't as sweet as we would have liked, but they were still sweet. It was fun for the kids to be able to pick their own oranges off the tree. And I enjoyed doing it too. And that was nice. It was just covered with oranges. So it was really nice of them to let us do that. They were good. I won't say they were delicious, but they were good. And they were free. All right, so we'll want to emboss that. Grab this out. Just checking really quick before I do that. I see one stray dot. Now my brush is not the thinnest brush. Now see, it's smeared actually right there. Oh, dang. Oh well, there's nothing I can do about that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and just emboss it. Isn't it pretty? I love watching the embossing powder melt. All nice and shiny. Very nice. I can take my little white gel pen and kind of cover that up a little bit. A little. All right. Now that one, I'm not gonna do too much with it because I'm gonna need a die to cut that out with. So let's just set that aside. And now we are gonna check these out and cut these out. You know, if you want more color with these, you could take your blending pen or a pencil. And actually, before I even get the blending pen out, I do think I want to use a pencil. Because I want to use the, you know, to mimic gold on this one. This is beautiful all on its own. I don't need to do anything with it. This one, I'm thinking, could use just a little extra. So I want to use this So Saffron, or this is Daffodil Delight. I don't think there is a So Saffron, but Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to just put some yellow in here. And that will help it go with my gold on the card. Maybe a little bit more. We'll see. My blending pen would work, but sometimes they're a little on the strong side. I love this yellow with pink. It's one of my favorite flower combinations. Do you know Double Delight Rose? That one doesn't have yellow too much, but Peace Rose does. And there's, you know, a whole bunch. That pink and yellow or hint of coral or orange is a really popular, common, beautiful. Usually it's fragrant when they're roses. And in daffodils, they're not daffodils, in dahlias too. Okay, so that's nice. I like that. I'm going to take that aside, and I'm going to put the camera up because we're going to cut these out. All right, so we'll set all of these out. And I hope I don't mess up my embossing when I cut this out. Sometimes that happens. We'll just hope for the best. And then I also am going to need to cut out my other one with a label cutter. And I might probably use my Tasteful Labels die for that. I suspect that's what I'll use. The Simply Scalloped Stitched one's really good too. All right, so here's this, and let's find the dies. Oh, I also need to cut out. Let's do this first. I want to cut out the ginkgo. Would actually be really nice with gold. Let's see if I've got a gold scrap. I bet you I do. I should have got that out ahead of time. I really wasn't thinking clearly. Where? There we go. All right, so I keep all of my, here is copper. This is our brush stuff. It's really nice, but I keep all my little, I don't throw any foil away ever. In fact, I'm a foil fiend. Ooh, that's silver. That's our champagne, actually. Oh, that'll work. Let's do that. Because I'm not seeing gold. I do see silver. But I think I'm really liking that champagne, and that's big good enough too. Let's see what else I've got in here. Now I do still have some of this pink, but that would be way too. And this is from our peacock suite that we had a long time ago. This actually might be really nice with it too. I've been using that foil up. I bought extra because it was so pretty, and then I got tired of it a little bit, put it away, forgot about it, and since Christmas is over, I've been getting it out and looking at it because trying to use it up. I don't want it to stay in there forever, but I don't really want to use it all up either because it's really nice. It's got my favorite green and my favorite turquoise color. Foil is very forgiving. Because of the glistening nature of it, you can pair it with anything that's even close to it. I like that our new dies have got our name on it. It actually says Stampin' Up on it, and it has the number clearly seen. That's nice. Those numbers used to be so small, I could never see them. Let's see how this is going to cut out. Can you see all the way over here? I think you can. Looks like it's coming out nicely. Where's my pick? There's just a couple I missed there. Oh yeah. Oh, look at you. That is nice. It looks like I could have run it through a couple more times. Foil is thick, and it also has a little bit of a plastic protective backing on the foil just to keep it stable. It's different than just plain cardstock, so it does take more runs through your cutting machine to cut foil. So just remember that when you do it. Don't rush it. Run it through several times and shift it. If you're still having a hard time getting a really good, easy cut with foil, then let me get one out, show you what I mean. You also want to make sure any extra's off, because otherwise it makes a big mess. We've got another one here. Let's do this little one here too. All right, so after you've run it through a couple of times, you can shift it a little bit, and then it just puts the pressure in a slightly different place. And that does also help cut through areas that might be not getting quite as good of an impression on this first round. Okay, so just pick it up a little bit and shift. We'll just shift it up here. Oops, this one came out, so we'll take that out. That one's fine. We don't need to press it. So we'll take that out. Let me set that away. But this seems to be intact. If it comes out, that's great. You're done. You don't need to worry about it. But if it doesn't and you're concerned about it not quite cutting enough, just shift it and do one more. And that usually does the trick really nicely. This brush is available as a Stampin' Up product with our new Stampin' Up pick tool. It's a little different than mine. Mine is an old one that's retired, or actually not even retired. It's a totally different brand, but I just find it useful and keep using it, even though I do have the other one. But I use the pick tool for a lot of other stuff, and I don't really want to be messing with changing out the end all the time. All right, so there you go. It's coming out pretty good. I can see that this die is very nice for me right now. I do think that as I use this several times, I will be needing to do it a few rolls through if I'm doing foil. I bet it'll be fine with cardstock though. Okay, we're gonna do one more just to make sure that I've got all that I need, because I don't want to have to drag this thing out again. All right, one more. I see a piece there that I didn't get punched out, but oh well. All right, I do love these cutouts. They're really what make our cards special, I think. And so if you do not have this cutting machine yet, you need to get it. Right now is a great time to get it, because during celebration, you get all kinds of free stuff for every $50 you spend. And this guy, I think, is like 120. So if you bought this machine, you get the plates and everything to go, and then you would get 2 free items. And we've got all kinds of stamps and paper, really nice stuff. I think our celebration freebies this time are some of the nicest we've had in a while. So this would be a good time to get your cutting machine if you have been putting it off. Having the wide enough 6-inch platform makes a huge difference. So if you've got just one of those little machines, it's not as good. You're working a lot harder for what you're getting than you need to. So just break down. Use our celebration time. You get a bunch of free stuff too. And if you really want everything, like I do, then join our team Let me get that fuzz off my finger. Join our team, and then you get all kinds of free stuff when you do that, and free shipping. The free shipping is pretty big when you're ordering a bunch of stuff. It's quite the savings. You get a free paper pumpkin. You get all kinds of cool perks being part of our team. You get to do free. In fact, tomorrow we're going to have fun with our team meeting, putting together some a special Valentine's card. All right, I think we're doing an easel thing tomorrow, ladies. I'm revamping it slightly, and I will send out your instructions because you're going to need to cut one piece. For those of you who are on my team, you're gonna want to have one piece pre-cut, ready to go, just to make it easy for yourselves. And I will send out those dimensions later on today. I was looking at it and I couldn't find the project for one thing that we're doing. I don't know. I mean, I have all the pieces I cut for it in the little envelope marked February, but I couldn't find the actual product online anywhere or in my files, or I don't know what I did. So we are gonna do, and then when I looked at it to try to get it set up, I just thought, you know, I think we can do a better easel than what I've got going here. So here's our bird of fortune, crane of fortune. Cut him out. If I can get him lined up properly. The legs are just not that part. The legs aren't quite, there we go. His head's now off slightly. This is the part that does take a little while. It's just the lining up. Once you're set, you do need your magnetic plate. You can tape it also instead of, or in addition to. Now with these, it's just cardstock, so it's going to go through really quick and easy. Isn't that cute? Okay, so we've got one. And we're going to get another one. Push you through. We had ice cream and other things. We ate so much. Because we had the little guys with us, we had to be eating all the time because they're little, right? And then I was on vacation. I don't get to eat like that. And I just decided, you know what? I know I'm going to get fat while we're here, but I don't care. I am going to eat. And so we went to some really nice places to eat. The only place that you might already know about is Olive Garden. Of course, Olive Garden, oh man, my daughter and I each got the extra dipping sauces so that we could have marinara and fettuccine, the fettuccine one, whatever it is, the Alfredo. I love that stuff with those breadsticks. I had a lot of breadsticks, a lot more than I normally would eat. Oh man, that was good. And then we went out to breakfast, and then we'd go out to lunch, and then go out to dinner. Most of the time we would just do 2 and not do 3, because I mean, I was stuffed all the time. By the time we left, I literally was ill because I don't eat that much anymore. And the last place we went to was probably one of the best places. It was called the Hof Hut. Now, if you're ever in Gardena, I think that one is actually in Torrance, go to the Hof Hut. You are going to love it. It was delicious. They had really good food, and all I could have was a bowl of soup. Because I was not feeling well just from having eaten so much. And I had a bowl of soup because I wanted to make sure I had their chocolate cake, and I did, but I cut it up and had a third of it, and the rest of them all took the rest of my chocolate cake. It was really good, but I was somewhat sick that night from having eaten all of that. So there you go. It was worth it. It definitely was worth it. It was delicious. And I was better in the morning. It was fine. I was fine. I knew I would be fine. Just a matter of my gallbladder doesn't really quite take all of that food anymore. If I'm eating too much, it just can't handle it. Hi, Jewel. It's nice to see you. Oh, Linda, you're with me too. Yay. Thank you, ladies, for tuning in. I didn't really think anyone probably would because I've been gone for so long. But don't you love this stamp set? Do you have this one? I haven't played with it yet. This is the first time, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm kind of dilly-dallying here. I should probably hurry up, in on an hour now. And I'm not. I'm almost done though, and I really wanted to get all of these cut out. And then as I was doing it, I decided off the spur of the moment to do a little embossing that I wasn't planning to do, so that has slowed me down a bit. There's a nice edge to this one. Ladies, what is this one? Is this a dahlia? It looks like a dahlia, like a little grouping of dahlias to me, or dahlias. I think you can say it either way. I never pronounce things correctly, I think. I think it's actually dahlias. No. Is it dahlias or is it dahlia? Yeah, I think it's dahlias. All right, so I guess they could be peonies. Maybe they're peonies because those buds look like peonies to me. All right, that's that. Now, the only thing I have to do left, I think, the only thing that's left to cut out is our label. And I need to see exactly what label we're going to do before I trim around it, because I don't want to trim. I don't want to trim away anything that I want to keep. And let's see the size. I like Tasteful Labels because it actually has a variety of sizes that work really well. Oh, if I use that, I'm going to lose I need a little larger than that. I'll have to get out another one. There's not a larger one than that. So let me get out the scalloped dies. Because the other one that I like a lot is our Encircled with Beauty ones, which actually go with the paper. All this cardstock that I'm doing, I believe that's the one that goes with this set. But they're very, they're very ornate and detailed, and we've already got a lot of that nonsense going. So instead, this Scalloped Contours gives you a whole bunch of options that are pretty good sizes. Just rectangles, and I bet that's going to work better. Yes, it is. Maybe this way. Ooh, I'm barely going to get it on the edge there. And that's not, I might have to do a double run because it's not going to quite go where I want it to, but at least I can see now what I want cut. So I'm going to trim out around it, get rid of this extra piece. I do want my dragonflies in there. They're not all going to go, but at least some of them will. And I'm just lining up this bottom so that it's a nice straight line with the bottom of my sentiment, so it doesn't look all crooked and wonky. And I'm not going to roll this part because it's off the cardstock. I'm going to have to use a two roll method here to get this to cut. So we'll go like that. Oh no, Jewel, you had COVID. I am so sorry. Was it just like a cold, mostly? I hope. Pretty awful. Hopefully you didn't lose your taste of smell and scent. That's the thing that I think I would be the most distressed over. Like, I don't get to eat a lot of food. I want to make sure I'm tasting it when I do. And I love perfume. Scent is a huge part of my life, which is why the natural gas in the Airbnb was very disturbing to me. We've lived in an old house before that had that occasionally, but I also know that can be corrected. And so, but I do have to add that our appliances were not gas, so just our furnace. And that would make a difference. The gas dryer, I believe, had a very strong... We had to do a lot of laundry, so... Oh, I love that. That's nice. Even though my dragonfly is off a little, you can see all of him. He's just right there. So that's going to be very cute. So now we can get to the assembly. We're on the assembly line part now. I like to do cards like this, just doing a whole set. Get everything done in an order like this. Stamp, stamp, stamp. Assemble your DSP on your cardstock, and then stamp and assemble, doing it kind of like in a an assembly line manner, sort of. All right. Let me put this down and, oh, that was loud. Maybe, hopefully my cord's not. I have to have it in because otherwise my phone's gonna discharge all of its juice. Bronchitis and migraine sounds terrible. I'm so sorry. That is awful. I need to get some cards out to you guys. I haven't sent cards really to anyone hardly in so long because I've been busy, but I think I'm just starting to be lazy now. I need to get some cards out. All right, because I actually have them piling up too. I really need to get some cards out. So I was thinking of this one with this, but I'm gonna just play with what I've got and decide what is gonna go with what. So the crane with a little bit of gold embossing on it that I did, pretty sure I wanted that with this. For this one, I think we're going to stick with this guy. Now we're going to need to still do a sentiment. The peonies, awfully pretty, if that's what it is. I might need another color if we're going to do that. Or I think I might put it with you, and we might just use maroon for that. And this one is just with black. So I think you might go best there. All right, so now we're gonna do my, I do want my ginkgo leaves on here somehow. So let's see what we've got, what we can do. I don't know if we want those dark ones. I don't think I'm going to be using those. I think just the lighter ones. And that's not going to work. I really like these ginkgos. I want you on here. I'm not sure how to get you on because it's acting like way too busy if I have it all on. I might have to save these guys for other projects. Okay, so we'll see those come in later because that's not going to work with any of the ones that I have today. And I think I only have 4 cards, and I still need this in here too. All right, I did want to put this one here, I think, initially. So we'll figure that out. Those are going together. This is going to go with this. Need sentiments now. All right, so let's look at the sentiments that we come with. There's wishing a lifetime of happiness and a world full of love. I really like that. I think that would be nice with this one. It actually wouldn't be bad with any of them, but we'll just do it with this one. Okay, should we do it on vanilla? We better do that one on vanilla. Is this big enough? Barely. Barely. All right, and we better use black on it because those are tiny words. I'm afraid they might not show up very well if they're not in black. I see when the word happiness is big and enlarged in love, it would be really nice to make it a different color, but I'm gonna just keep it simple here for now. Okay, so there's that one. And then we've got another, we need 3. So we'll do this one again. May much luck and good fortune. This one we're gonna do with another scrap of very vanilla, if I can find it. Oh, that's shiny. I don't want that one. Trying to think how we want to do this one. Let's just do it in, oh, we're going to do it with so saffron. I hope it'll be strong enough. My So Saffron was kind of wimpy when I was doing it early. I've got to remember to get that inked up. Good, good, good. That one's fine. And we'll do this one 2 times, I think. Sending 1,000 well wishes on your special day. I like that. That is nice. 1, 2, actually I only need 1. We'll use our Mary Merlot and put it with the flowers. All right, thank you for sharing, ladies. I really appreciate it a lot. It's being in a new community. I think my videos are going out to a different group of people. So, but it doesn't matter where you share it, just sharing it, because Facebook will send it out to other people near me too. But I need somebody to share it in order for that to happen. Me just doing the video does not get it shared out much. It does a little, but not much. Okay, so now we're going to cut these labels out and we'll do our final card assembly. And we will be done for today. And it's not too bad. I'm not doing too bad. It's a little long for today, but not... Right now we're only 10 minutes over, and I oftentimes go over that much at least. So actually for getting this many cards done, it's pretty good for me. Maybe not for someone else, but it is for me. I've never been good at working fast. I like to go slow. All right, so we will stick with our contours dies if they're the right size, but otherwise I'll have to go to something else. This one will work really nicely for this one. I like them because they're scalloped and stitched. They're pretty. They come out really easily too. Look at that. Very nice. Do you want to get off your little dots? Because otherwise they leave impressions in your paper in odd places. Now this one can be, I don't know that I really want it fatter, so I think I'll grab out the Tasteful Labels dies again. And this one, I don't have room on that for the flag. Oh, this might be too big. It is. Rats. That one's probably not going to work. Oh, it's just barely not big enough. I'm afraid it'd be just a little too short. There is a stitched rectangle that's probably going to fit. It's going to make it a little large, but I think it'll be okay. You know, just a little bit too tall. Too tall. The width is perfect. This is why you need to have all of these dies, and you can have all of the different sizes ready to come out with your nice labels. And if you're going to have a lot of dies, you have to join our team. You can't afford to be buying all of these dies unless you are a hobby demonstrator. You could be a regular demonstrator and try to get people to join you if you want, but you don't have to. You can just be a hobby demonstrator, and that means you get savings of all kinds. You get to do fun things with our team. You get to get products first before other people have the chance at them. So you don't ever have to worry about things being sold out and you're missing out on them. No, that doesn't happen with us. So, and on our team, we're mostly hobby demonstrators. In fact, I think I would say almost entirely. Like me, I categorize myself as a hobby demonstrator because I'm just doing it for fun. I'm really not working all that super hard trying to get other people to join me. I do during these special events because they're good deals, and I like to see people get a good deal. I'm really grateful that I got a good deal when it was the right time to join, and I wish my previous demonstrators had told me how much money I would have been saving. I would have joined earlier if I had known. So that's one reason I like to tell people to join, because it is a good deal. And if you're spending, if you ever spend $100 on Stampin' Up! Stuff, that much, then you are definitely, it would be worth it to you to join. Just join, because you're spending the money basically anyway, and if you join, then you get to get more for your money. All right, so put that die there. Now we are ready to do the final assembly. This is my favorite part. Get to do all the assembly part, and this is the part I get to play around with ribbons and all. Now this card, pretty busy. This again is, let me tell you in case you missed it earlier. Where did I stick it though? I have to look at it to see what it is. I'm trying to forget the exact name of it. This is the Simply Elegant Designer Series paper. My favorite piece is that one. That one is so pretty. And if you go to Pinterest, you'll see cards that I've made with that. And that's what I've used for almost all of these, is that Designer Series paper. All right, so let's stick this on here with our dimensionals. So because that's pretty busy with all these different shapes and color too, really. There's gold, silver, gray. I'm gonna just keep it simple and no ribbon on this one. Okay, so we'll do, I want to keep seeing my, I need to have some room here for my bird also. So we'll stick you like that, and then we'll try to stick you on here somehow. I'm not sure how to get you on, because I really kind of want to see those dragonflies too, and I think that is going to work best right there. Okay, this I'm going to glue on. I'll glue the body that's going to go on the tag. We'll use our little mini dimensionals on the leg, maybe a half of a one. On a foot. Well, let's do it on the bigger foot. This is a skinnier half. We'll put that on the other foot. And one regular one on his head. No, not on his head, because that's going on the card. So we'll use our glue on the body and the head. And then he'll be the same level all the way through, because my label is on dimensionals. I think I got it right. Let's see. Yes. All right, just like that. Oh, his wings up a little. Let's move it down. All right, there we go. Right there. Oh, so cute. And then I'm not going to do it on camera because it just would be taking time. I will just cut out white cardstock and then just glue this right on it, and I'll have my card all set and ready to go. Okay, so there is that one. We'll stick that there. This, I still need my sentiment. And we're going to use this one with black on here. We'll stick it right at the top. Okay, I think that will look quite nice. And we'll just put dimensionals on that. Don't you like doing stamping? It's a great outlet for creativity. I can just kind of go with the flow. Sometimes we copy other people's stuff. Thank you for sharing, Linda. Very appreciate that. You're good. And it's just super fun. When we get together to do it is even more fun because it's very, very easy to do. You don't have to think too hard about it. There's nothing right, nothing wrong in it. And, you know, I mean, you can do whatever you want to. You can follow the instructions that we might have for your card projects, or you can just come up with your own on the fly. Works too. I like that. I haven't ever been with a demonstrator when I was first starting and didn't, you know, wasn't a member. I mean, didn't wasn't a demonstrator, when I was just starting it. I was never with somebody who was very precise and had made you do your card exactly like she did. And I'm so glad I didn't, because I probably wouldn't have persisted. It probably would have turned me off fast. I like to do things different, and a lot of people do. I don't think I'm the only one that way. Right? In that Airbnb house that we were in, she also had, I know she was by the end of the day, you know, by the end of the 2 weeks, we were quite good friends. She was a nice Christian lady. Not only did she have Christian books in there in the bookcase, so I knew she was probably Christian, she had Nancy Drew. It's like, thank you, because my Hardy Boys book that I brought for the plane ride, I'd done half of it, and I didn't want to finish it as I needed to have the other half for my flight back. So she had Nancy Drew ready for me there. That was nice. Not for me, but for anyone. So that was fun. There were just a whole lot of little fun things. I'll have to put some of my pictures in my newsletter. If you're taking my newsletter, you'll see some of what we saw. So if you are not taking the newsletter, you should sign up for it. It's once a week. You get free tutorials. I rarely spend a lot of time with sales on it. It's for fun. I do this for fun. Okay, I like that really a lot. And I do really like that little bit of gold on it. It was super easy to do, and it just makes a huge difference, doesn't it? Now this one, he's pretty plain looking, really. I think if I were to do this again, I might want to do it a little different, but we're going to just leave it as it is, because I don't want to take any extra time to change it up. But I think a little extra color on him wouldn't be bad at all. Maybe, since I've got black, I think I should have stamped him in black and then just used my So Saffron pencils to color him in just a little. I think that would have looked better, but that's okay. We're going to just stick with what I've got. In the backyard of the Airbnb we were in, there was plenty of room to do hopscotch, and our kids had not played, our grandkids, I mean. They're homeschooled. But I don't think, I asked our daughter Mary, who's 30-something, you know, she's 30, is she 36 now? Man. She's getting older. Did you do hopscotch, Mary? And she couldn't even really remember at first. Then she remembered, oh yeah, I guess we did, not a ton. So when I was little, hopscotch was big. We did that. It was really good exercise. It's good for coordination in a lot of different ways. So that was fun. I got to play hopscotch with the grandkids. They got to learn how to play hopscotch. It's good with numbers for little ones because they're very small. The 3-year-old just kind of did his own thing. He played with us in a sort of a way. We had to use one of their little juice, you know, one of those little gummy snacks. They went to a birthday party while they were there, and one of the treat bags had those little gummy juice things, and they were just those little treat bags, but with that little those fruit leathery type things in them. I forget what they're called. Anyway, it was the perfect weight for a hoppy taw, so we used those for their hoppy taw. It was fun. All right, there we go. I do kind of like that. I'm not so sure about all of that, but that's good. And this is the last one. Very pretty. Now, I don't really need this. I might save that one for another one, although I don't mind it being there. Let's see. Let's move you. Let us see how to do this. Maybe like that. No. I don't mind having it doubled, but kind of needs, if you're going to do that, I would like to put a ribbon on there and tie that. I don't know if that's really necessary. Let's just do this. I don't know. What do you think, ladies? Do you like it like this with just the maroon and my my Mary Merlot, actually, Mary Merlot words in this, or with my Mary Merlot and the polished pink together. I'm not sure what's best. I kind of like the polished pink too, but I'm thinking it's too much color. All right, so we'll just stick with the Mary Merlot. I'm not very good at waiting for replies. All right, there we go. I also did a no, not hopscotch. I said that Foursquare, but it was too. The middle grandkid is 5, and it was a little beyond her. There physically, you know, not mentally, but I mean physically. It was just a little too much. All right, so then that's going to go there, and I'd like to have a mat on the back, but I don't want Mary Merlot. And I don't know if I have enough silver to make a go of it. Will my ginkgo work, do you think? I'm not so sure. Maybe if I trimmed it. It's too much. It's too busy. Just too busy. So I think we're just going to leave it as is. Now, sometimes if I want an edge that's a color, but I don't want to do a matte necessarily because I just don't want it to be that fat. This painty gold and silver can come in really handy. You can just color the edge just lightly of your message, you know, and then you've got at least your silver edge there. I'm not going to take the time to do that, but you can do that. That sometimes looks pretty good. Or if you've got, let's see what we've got. Oh yes, I think I've got a silver here somewhere. There it is. We had, a few years ago, we had these delicatas, and I bet we have a silver there. You can do that as an edge also. And then you get a little bit of a silver. Now this delicata sometimes is not as intense with its metallic as I like it. I actually have another silver and gold pad that I usually use instead. All right. But it is something that can give you a little bit of color. And I think I'm almost done. And you have not even heard the half of what we did in California. So next week, if you're interested, come on back. We'll be doing a whole nother card stamp set, probably one card, because I bet I'll have a bunch of things to do on that one. This I just happened to decide early on to go ahead and do all of this. As far as the bases were all done ahead of time, so I could get all of this done in an hour and a half, which is a pretty good deal, actually, to be able to get 4 really nice cards. Those are pretty nice. Anytime you do gold with a card, it puts it up a notch for showers, weddings, you know, special birthday, Mother's Day, anything like that. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to flip the camera up. Hopefully my cords aren't gonna, my cords are kind of like all tangled up here. Did it work? My camera, it doesn't like to be moved, so I have to peek through, say, oh, is it working? Good, it worked. It didn't go all kerfloppity. All right, thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I will be back next week, 1 o'clock Central Time. Message me if you are at all interested in doing kits or anything here at my house. Message me if you want to join our team, and I'll tell you more about that and how to do it and what to expect. And you can decide if that's something that would be fun for you. Let's see. Oh, celebration. We only have this 1 more month. So at the end of February, it ends. And you do not get a chance to add any more free products. And there's a bunch of really nice things out there. So don't miss out. Get in that catalog. Find some fun things so that you get all of the celebration items, the stamps, the paper, all that stuff that you want. Thanks again. I'll see you later. Bye.